Right, so this get-up is a little bit more unusual than I usually wear, but it is fairly cold down here and it's supposed to be getting to about -4 today. So it's not the best weather for scroll sawing with the door open, but I've got a lot of plywood to cut through and I don't want to do that with the door closed. So yeah, I have a bandana on my hair, I'm going to put my hood up and new face mask and a slight flyover going on as well. Right, so this is part 2 of my puzzle box of boxes. So I'm now working on the actual outer box itself and the combination lock. I had some difficulties with the original design and I've changed that, and I'll get to that later on. So I think I'll now switch to time-lapse whilst I do some ridiculous cutting, because all of my plywood is at least 3 foot wide, which is going to be difficult on here because I've only got a 2 foot depth. So yeah, if you watch carefully you might see me lose some fingers. Okay, so this is as far as I can get because I've got to wait for that to dry. But I've got a thought. I was intending to put a couple of hinges on and have it hinge open, but I've got 4 bolts, so just having a lift off lid would be possible, and would probably be easier as well because I don't have to then cut off any of this to make it hinge. So I'm at a standstill for the minute because I can't finish this off, because frankly it's too cold down here and this glue is taking longer than usual to set because it's so cold down here. So I'm going to call that a finish, even though I'm not exactly finished. Right, so my mechanism works. My dials turn and block the sliders from moving, which is what they're supposed to do. I need to put a couple of pins or something just on the inside of these sliders so they're easier to get to, or just leave it. If I leave it as kind of a finger movement, and that's, you can't move them in, so I'm going to have to put some sort of handle in there so you can slide the parts. And my outer dials, I was going to actually carve something quite intricate and end up just doing a lump out of the side, so I'm not really satisfied with those. But if I'm not rushing to finish, I can probably do something a bit better, so this may all come up at a later date in a finished form. So my small boxes all fit in nicely, and I've got a good inch of depth here. I probably could have done making it slightly shorter, but I didn't want to jam things up on the inside because all my sliding parts and moving parts have dowels coming out. So that's not ideal. If I had a flush trim saw I could get rid of those, but I don't. So that's going to have to stay for now. So yeah, it's not been a complete success. In fact, the original design I had, I'll go find my prototype. The original design, well, you can see this, it's been dropped on the floor a few times. So the original idea was an actual turning combination lock, and that's all well and good, but I couldn't find a way of separating the dials individually so they would move individually, which is kind of what's needed here. So I could get them to spin, but even if I use some paper or some plastic to actually create a washer, a separation, they still all move together, which is not what I wanted. So this is about the 4th version of this that I've made, and I'm still determined to try and make it work, but I think wood's probably not the right option because the little wooden keys on the inside, they kind of counterweight everything, so resting state these all sit down at the bottom and they don't always stay where they're supposed to. So yeah, that design as I actually saw on a video by, I think, DM Idea, who did it in cardboard, which I think will work because it's that much lighter, but not in wood. So this idea I'm going to put on the back burner, but I do actually like this kind of combination style. Anyway, so the plan is for this is once it's all finished, I've still got to give these another layer of varnish, but with the weather being so cold, my spray lacquer is not going to work, so I'm going to hold off on that until I have a decent amount of weather going on. So yeah, this will get a finishing varnish, and I'll put the dials on if I don't change them beforehand. So yeah, the idea is to have the separate boxes, the smaller boxes, scattered around, and to have a puzzle in each box which leads to this one, and you'll come across this box closed. So the task is then to use the clues you've got from the other boxes to work out how to open this and then pack it. At least that's the plan. So it's not as complicated as I started with, but it's still definitely one of my plans. So yeah, while I'm not satisfied, I don't want to risk hypothermia by sitting out here any longer than I absolutely have to. So I'm calling this one finished, and with luck I'll actually be able to show you the completed version probably in April, I think, because I've still got to do tomorrow. Got to do the report for March tomorrow. So yeah, so that is this box of boxes part 2 almost done. I'll see you again tomorrow.